Hello, dear audience. It's great to see you again on our journey to explore the mysteries of the world. We are now in the early days of the new year 2024, a year that has seen many significant events unfold. We've achieved impressive milestones and breakthroughs in science and technology, but there are still pressing issues that remain unresolved. Across the globe, humanity continues to face wars, diseases, natural disasters, and famine. It's uncertain when humanity will truly find the right path to make this world a better place. Do you wonder if the world will change in the coming year? Will we achieve anything, solve any problems, or will we have to face something painful and terrible? Famous prophets like Baba Vanga, Nostradamus, and the young Indian prodigy have made predictions about the world in 2024. Today, let's see what they have foretold and whether it's worth believing. Welcome all of you to the latest video, the prophecies for the world in 2024 and the truth about them. First of all, I hope the viewers will take a few seconds to support the channel with a like and a subscribe. We'll start with the main content right now. I probably don't need to introduce this woman too much. The blind prophetess, Baba Vanga, is a famous Bulgarian prophet. She is well known for accurately predicting many major events. Vanga couldn't read or write, and she never wrote a book. Her voice was difficult to hear and heavily accented, so what Vanga said or believed to have said was mainly recorded by those around her. Later, countless esoteric books about Vanga's life and predictions were written by those around her. According to Vanga, her extraordinary abilities were related to the presence of invisible beings, though she couldn't explain their origins. These beings provided her with information about people's lives, showing her scenes from birth to death. However, she had no power to change fate. Vanga predicted about newborns and unborn spirits. She also claimed to see and talk to people who died hundreds of years ago. Vanga even claimed that extraterrestrial beings have been living on Earth for a long time. They come from planets where a similar language is used. According to reputable newspapers like Guyana India Times or Mirrors, Vanga's prophecies stand at an accuracy rate of up to 85% compared to the actual events, even though she passed away in 1996. However, her prophecies are still recorded and believed to extend until the year 579, when she predicted that humanity would perish. For the year 2024, Vanga left predictions for humanity, promising significant changes. So let's see what the great prophetess had to say. Firstly, Vanga pointed out that 2024 would be the year of quantum computing. Thanks to modern technology, these computers will be able to perform calculations and analyze complex data at unimaginable speeds. These changes will also have a significant impact on various industries such as finance, cybersecurity, and healthcare. But what are quantum computers, and how does the development of quantum computing affect humanity? Quantum computers are a type of computer that uses quantum mechanics principles to perform computations different from digital computers. Quantum computers operate based on the principles of quantum mechanics to process input data. So simply put, quantum computers operate on the basis of quantum particles. Quantum computers operate based on the principles of quantum mechanics, describing the behavior of particles at the atomic and subatomic levels. One of the key theories of quantum mechanics is wave-particle duality, meaning that particles have both wave-like and particle-like properties, depending on how they are observed. To perform computations, quantum computers use quantum logic gates, similar to the logic gates used in classical computers. However, while classical logic gates operate on classical bits that can only be in one state at a time, quantum logic gates operate on quantum bits that can exist simultaneously in multiple states. In classical computers, the basic unit of information is the bit, which can have a value of 0 or 1. Quantum computers use quantum bits that can represent both 0, 1, or both simultaneously. This allows quantum computers to perform multiple computations simultaneously, rather than sequentially like classical computers. Additionally, quantum computers can exploit an effect called quantum tunneling to explore multiple feasible solutions to a problem at the same time, rather than searching for each solution one by one like classical computers. This could increase the speed of quantum computers for certain types of problems. Quantum computers have the ability to perform many computations much faster than classical computers, making them a crucial technology for many applications. Quantum computers have the potential to significantly impact various fields and have profound effects on society. It can be said that the prophecy of extraordinary development and quantum computing's role in 2024 is a highly promising sign. It could be a major turning point in science and technology, ushering in a new era for humanity. However, alongside this, humanity in 2024 still faces many old issues, but on a much more dangerous and serious scale. The issue I want to address is natural disasters. Vanga's prophecy for 2024 is that natural disasters will increase and occur continuously. This scenario is entirely plausible because in 2023, our planet witnessed a series of unusual natural phenomena, from climate change to the late-year El Niño event. We recently published a video about the El Niño phenomenon on our new channel. Please watch it to better understand this phenomenon. The blind prophetess believes that the number of hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, and wildfires will rapidly increase and cause significant damage to lives and property in the coming year. In her prophecies, Vanga also warned of a major earthquake in the Pacific Ring of Fire region in 2024. Natural disasters have always been one of the factors causing the greatest damage to the world, especially in the current situation where everything seems to be deteriorating more than ever. United Nations Secretary-General Anthony Guess has warned that the age of global warming has ended and the age of global boiling has begun. Since the beginning of the year, the world has been shaken by a catastrophe. With horrific devastation, on January 6, 2023, 2 consecutive earthquakes occurred within 12 hours in central and southern Turkey, as well as northern Syria, measuring 7.8 on the Richter scale, with many places feeling shocks up to 6.7 on the Richter scale. So far, the statistics show that more than 50,000 people have died from this disaster, and a series of construction buildings have been destroyed. The earthquake not only dealt a heavy blow to the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, but also caused Turkey to suffer over $163 billion in damages, an immensely large figure for a country facing many economic challenges. Experts believe that Turkey will take many years to recover from this horrific earthquake. With Vanga's prophecy, how much more suffering will the world have to endure from disasters? The severity of current natural disaster issues has led many to imagine that the doomsday is approaching. This prophecy contrasts with the first prophecy, which is perhaps a very clear warning, and it doesn't stop there. Besides natural disasters, humanity still faces wars and appalling atrocities. Vanga predicted about the terrible weapons of mass destruction, stating that a major nation would conduct biological weapons tests or attacks next year, and she also foresaw terrorists striking in Europe. This is somewhat plausible because conflicts in hotspots around the world are still ongoing daily without signs of cooling down. The Russia-Ukraine war has yet to show a clear result, and humanity is somehow rapidly devastating the Earth without recovery. Evidence for this is humanity's climate overshoot. Along with it, resources are gradually depleting. In the third prophecy for the year 2024, Vanga mentioned the end of the age of black gold, meaning the end of the era of oil. Some believe her prophecy hints at renewable energy replacing the position of the oil industry. And if so, what will the world be like when fossil fuel sources are depleted? Oil is an extremely valuable resource for any country in the world. It can be said that the more oil is extracted, the greater the demand for oil in all economic, technical, and civilian activities. However, oil is not an infinite supply. It takes millions of years to regenerate and produce crude oil. If oil consumption continues to increase in the future, we will face the risk of completely depleting all oil sources. Scientists have calculated a clear roadmap for stopping oil and gas production. To prevent the carbon amount from exacerbating the global climate change, to seize the 50% chance of not allowing the global atmosphere temperature to rise by 1.5 degrees Celsius, oil and gas extraction must be completely terminated by 2050. Humanity no longer has much time to wait, so 2024 will be the year the oil era comes to an end, as Vanga predicted. And now, mankind is faced with an equally daunting question. What will we replace oil with, the most potential and feasible energy source? Solar energy is perhaps the most prominent contender. For thousands of years, humans have known how to harness solar energy for warmth and food drying. According to renewable energy laboratories, the United States only needs 1 hour of sunlight shining on the land, and all this energy will be more than enough for the world to use in a year. Nowadays, we use sunlight in many ways, such as heating homes, heating water, generating electricity for more electronic devices, and solar panel power systems do not produce air pollutants, especially not CO2, helping to minimize the greenhouse effect and reduce Earth's warming. However, humans currently only tap into a very small part of solar energy. Other energy sources such as wind energy, nuclear energy, or geothermal energy have not truly demonstrated the potential to replace all fossil fuel capacities. Perhaps human science still needs more time to find a truly suitable energy source. But at least, according to the prophecy, the age of oil will end, somewhat a good sign. These are the biggest changes the world will undergo in 2024, according to Vanga's predictions. Additionally, she also made some predictions in other specific fields with significant impact. Along with the rise of quantum computing as mentioned earlier, Vanga believed that 2024 would also be a breakthrough year for the global healthcare system. Many new treatment methods and technologies will be developed to cure diseases that were previously thought to be incurable. Specifically, Vanga described that there would be a major breakthrough in Alzheimer's treatment, bringing hope to millions of people suffering from memory loss. Furthermore, she also believed that scientists would find a way to cure cancer and save humanity from this dreaded disease in 2024. So according to what the blind prophet said, 2024 will see major changes. However, how accurate it is or whether it's just personal opinion, whether someone agrees with Vanga or not, remains to be seen. To answer this question, let's explore what another great prophet, Nostradamus, had to say about the world's fate in 2024. Similar to Vanga, Nostradamus, a French astrologer, was also one of the greatest prophets in history. He differed from other astrologers worldwide in that he could predict the world's fate over centuries. He used a special method, sitting alone in a quiet room, concentrating like someone in meditation, to gaze into a basin of ink-black water. He focused his thoughts for a period, and then splashed water onto his body with a delicate wand, then continued to focus his thoughts to gaze intently into the water's place. The images that Nostradamus saw and understood were probably only visible and understood by him. Through such sessions, he carefully recorded his interpretations on paper. If Nostradamus' past predictions are correct, then his predictions about the future should not be taken lightly. The future is essentially a series of probabilities stemming from a range of events caused by human decisions in the present. If the range of these events can be determined, the probability of foreseeing the distant future can be enhanced, and humans may have synthesizers capable of doing so. Nostradamus predicted that in 2024, there would be a great pandemic, famine, naval battles, a new pope, and a new king. In 1555, Nostradamus left a collection of prophecies about events that would occur in the world from the mid-16th century to the end of the world, which he believed would occur in 37 and 97. Each century was predicted by him with about 100 quatrains presented in vague and obscure language, but believed to forecast major events that would occur in the world. Regarding 2024, Nostradamus foresaw that from human creativity, new life would arise when artificial organs created by machines and their metal hearts would beat with the fire of humans and save those about to die from the cruel delay of death. A notable quatrain of Nostradamus about 2024 predicts a breakthrough in the field of organ transplantation. potentially revolutionizing the treatment of patients with organ failure at a more affordable cost. The development of 3D printing technology has opened up opportunities for patients with organ failure to access life-saving treatment methods that were previously unavailable or very costly. This could significantly increase lifespan and reduce the burden of disease worldwide. In the future, organ transplantation may become simpler with 3D printing technology. One can choose a model and quickly print it out. Vivid images of paintings, boats, or globes accepted by the world will be part of daily life. This is a prediction about the rise of artificial intelligence, which many believe will bring about significant changes in various fields. Artificial intelligence has the potential to make major breakthroughs in healthcare, finance, transportation, diagnosis, and medical treatment. AI technology can also drive the development of smart cities and businesses, especially due to the increasing influence of China in this area. But whether the predictions of the two prophets are accurate or not remains a big question and may never have a completely accurate answer. Some predictions have come true, but others have not. Nostradamus, with his mysterious quatrains, predicted many important events in history, but this information is often vague and can be interpreted in many different ways. Some events have occurred as he predicted, but not all have been accurate. Similarly, Baba Vanga also had notable predictions, and many of them have come true. However, some of her predictions have not come true or may have been misunderstood. Deciphering the predictions of prophets requires careful consideration and judgment from a rational perspective. Sometimes, predictions may be misunderstood or confused with other events. Sometimes, we may only understand the true meaning of a prediction after the event has occurred. Therefore, examining and interpreting predictions requires careful consideration and judgment from various sources of information, not just blind faith in prophecies. According to Wikipedia, prophecy or prediction is a message claimed to have been communicated to a prophet by a deity through revelation. Such messages often relate to the prophet's interpretation or revelation of divine will concerning social events or forthcoming events. In some cases, predictions made long in advance with high accuracy are also called prophecies. So, the prophecies we are talking about are simply a form of future prediction. If a prediction is accurate to a certain degree, it is called a prophecy, and by that definition, prophecy turns out not to be as supernatural as we think. Predicting the future happens frequently and daily around us, such as weather forecasts or stock market predictions. These routine predictions in life are based on specific data observation accumulated from the past. Therefore, they are often very accurate in the future. Prophecy should perhaps be seen as a broad, overall prediction of a significant event, figure, or phenomenon that has a major impact on a nation or the world, and the prophecies of Baba Vanga or Nostradamus would be such prophecies. Returning to the question of whether the prophecies of the two prophets will be accurate in 2024, the answer is uncertain. Why is that? Haven't made many accurate prophecies? Why do we doubt their prophecies? The answer is that even great prophets have made many wrong predictions in the past, and people did not pay attention to them. Indeed, people often do not pay attention to prophecies that do not come true, which can be called selective perception. We can easily give examples of Vanga's failed prophecies, even though they sound very serious. Previously, Vanga predicted that assassinations of 4 heads of state would be one of the causes of the start of World War III. World War III would begin in November 2010, and would end around October 2014. The war would start as a conventional war, including the use of nuclear and chemical weapons. However, we have reached 2024 and still live in peace, with no world war occurring. And as far as I remember, there has been no head of state assassinated. Let's continue with other prophecies. In 2014, most of humanity would be afflicted with cancer and other diseases due to the consequences of chemical warfare. Many people believe in Vanga because they think she accurately predicted the Ebola outbreak in 2014. But let's carefully consider this prophecy. To have a pandemic infecting the majority of humanity is something not easy to achieve. The world population at that time was over 7 billion people, and to have a pandemic affecting the majority of humanity is an impossible thing. The Ebola outbreak was not a pandemic large enough to be global. It mainly spread in West Africa. The statistical figure of 85% accuracy we mentioned earlier is not necessarily a reliable figure. Next, Vanga predicted in 2018 that China would surpass the US to become the world's superpower. At the same time, humans would discover a new form of energy on Mars. Obviously, neither of these prophecies occurred in 2018. In 2018, China's GDP reached the equivalent of $13.285 trillion US dollars. However, this figure was still lower than that of the US, which reached $20.544 trillion US dollars in 2018. By the end of 2019, China had indeed become an extremely powerful economic superpower, but it still ranked second to the US. The 2019 GDP of the US reached $21.44 trillion, while China's was only $14.142 trillion. The discovery of a new form of energy on Mars also did not happen. Back in 2014, it was believed that Mars could be a great source of solar energy, more than 40% more than on Earth. However, until now, NASA and other space research programs have not had any information about new energy sources on Mars. These inaccurate prophecies are rarely mentioned. Whether it was accidental or intentional to enhance the image of the prophets, Vanga and Nostradamus, is unknown. As for Nostradamus, his quatrains were extremely vague and difficult to understand, so they are not enough basis for us to verify how accurate they are. And of course, he also had inaccurate prophecies about the future. The prophets predicted that a third world war would erupt lasting nearly 30 years, starting from 1999. At that time, France was a heavily damaged country. Before that was the close confrontation between the two superpowers, Russia and the US. After this Third World War, the remaining humanity would live in peace for a long time. It has been over 20 years and no world war has occurred. However, it is precisely this ambiguity in prophecy that makes it the most unsatisfactory for many people. Both prophets, Nostradamus and Vanga, did not have the clarity needed for their prophecies. They merely stated their events in cryptic sentences and left it to the media to constantly paint them according to their intentions. Never has anyone seen a prophecy with accurate timing, location, perpetrator, or cause of an event. Another very important point is that only after the event has occurred do people review the prophecies of the prophets and fit them into the events that have occurred. If so, then prophecy becomes meaningless again. If humans truly knew the future, they should use it to avoid impending disasters, rather than analyzing it after the event has occurred, concluding prophecies about the world in 2024. There are indeed terrible disasters, but we don't need to worry too much about them. The accuracy of prophecy will be answered by time, and in another year, we will come back here and verify these prophecies. Today's video ends here. Goodbye, and see you in the next videos. Have a great day with your family.